Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Now for today's video, I'm going to be doing a Betta care video because I've actually been wanting to do this for a while, like ever since I filmed my Betta aquarium tour. So I talked like briefly about what I had and what you need for a Betta, but I really just wanted to make this full video because I think that this could be really helpful for other people if you want a Betta, if you're thinking about getting a Betta, if you're just interested about what goes into getting a Betta. So I'm going to just tell you what I know and the best way that I know how to do things. And please, if you have any questions or concerns, please comment them down below. And if anything I say you think that it's not factual or something's wrong, or you have anything that you want to say, just please comment down below. I want to make sure all my statements are factual because I don't want to spread misinformation. That's how we got into some of the misconceptions about Bettas that are not true. So let's get right into the video. The things I'm going to be covering in this video are the tank size, the filter, the heater, this little funny thing, filter, heater, what you need to put in the water, how often you need to change the water, the gravel or substrate you need to use, the decor, including houses and plants. I actually have a video about that if you want to check that out. The lid / lighting that you need, like the type of it, the tank mates that you could put with your Betta, or if you want to do a sorority, I'll talk like a little bit about that. And finally, the feed, which is probably the easiest thing that I'll talk about in this video. So that's the order in which I'm going to talk about them, and let's just get right into the video. Tank size that you need for your Betta is a 2.5 gallon tank. They cannot live in a bowl like this, contrary to popular belief. They cannot live in a bowl like this because Bettas are semi-aggressive tropical fish, and they normally have a territory in, they might have like a 3 feet territory. So if you just put in a bowl like this is not going to work for them. And right when you put in one plant, that like takes up like most of their space. So no, you cannot put a Betta in a random bowl. I believe that there are kits out there that come with, well, I know there are. It comes with like a 2.5 tank, a filter, some water conditioner, and like some food. And those are like $30–40. If you can't spend that much for a starter kit, then you should not own a Betta. So you can buy those kits out there if you're like a beginner. But I mean, of course, after that you have to buy more stuff. But if you're a beginner, you can buy the starter kits that come with like a 2.5 gallon tank and some supplies. Yeah, and another bad thing about these bowls is that it's round, and when it's round, they can like see their reflection more, and that stresses them out. You know, Bettas, like I said, are semi-aggressive, and if they see the reflection, then they'll like flare up at it, and you know that's fine. Like when you're first introducing a Betta to a tank, it's of course going to flare up a lot because like it's a new environment, and that happened to me, and you know it goes away. Trust me. But with this, they just see the reflection all the time, and it's not good. So yeah. Minimum tank size for Betta is 2.5 gallons, and there are like little kits you can buy that are like $34, so there's really no excuse to get a tank size that's not at least 2.5 gallons. Anything above 2.5 gallons is fine. I have a 10 gallon, you know, anything above 2.5 gallons for one Betta is fine. Filter for your Betta, they really don't need like a high-tech filter. I personally have a Whisper 20 power filter, and that is kind of a high flow for a 10-gallon tank. So I would recommend not getting a filter that's really high flow because Bettas really aren't that well of swimmers, and they just prefer not that much water current. I mean, they do need a filter, but they just prefer not that much water current. So yes, and for filter maintenance, once a month you need to change the filter cartridge and carbon. That is, the carbon is what makes, you know, it filter out all the bad stuff. So once a month you need to do that. You can find the cartridges like right where you find, like where you buy the filters, so they're not that hard to find. And yeah, you just need to filter maintenance once a month. It's like cleaning out the filter, like washing it with warm water, not too hot, because the beneficial bacteria actually builds up there, and that's good. So clean it with warm water and change the filter cartridge and carbon once a month, and low flow filter, and you'll be fine. A heater for your Betta tank. Most heaters will automatically set to 78 degrees, and that is just perfect because the ideal Betta temperature is 78 to 80 degrees, and you should not let it get under 74 degrees for long periods of time because they are tropical fish and they enjoy 78 to 80 degrees. That's the best situation for them. I mean, 75 to 85 is really their range where they would be a-okay. And yes, you do need a heater, and it'll say on the packaging like how many gallons it heats up. Like for mine, I have a heater. It's like this big, this tall, and it says so on the package how many gallons it heats up, which is 10. So yeah, and it will also benefit you to have a thermometer near your heater, which is just a good thing to have because sometimes my heater will just randomly unplug and I'll just, be looking at the thermometer and it's like 74 degrees. So that's how I know to plug it back in again. So yes, you do need a thermometer and a heater for your Betta tank, definitely. And for your heater in the summertime, if it's, in the summertime, you don't need to turn on your heater because if it's already days outside, you don't need to turn it on. I'll overheat the tank and that's not good either. So if you live, according to where you live, if where you live it's hot all the time, only turn your heating on when it gets in the 70s outside. And if you live where it's cold all the time, turn your heating on all the time. So yeah, just adjust it to what you need, but your Betta does need a heater. Now time for water and what you need to put in your water. So water conditioner is essential for a healthy Betta. Water conditioner is essential. You can't just put water in there, plop your Betta in there. No, that's not how it works. I also put pH tablets in there to just, keep the pH good. I'll just, So, this is the exact water conditioner that I use. It's Aquarian, and I think this is a very good brand. And, yes, I do water changes. Once a week, I do 25% water changes. So that means I put 1/4 of this in the water and then put it in the tank. Yeah, it'll say on the packages how much you need to put in for how much water. Let me find down here. See the directions. So yeah, that means if I'm putting in 25% of 10 gallons, that means I'll put 1/4 of a teaspoon in. If it says 1 whole teaspoon for 10 gallons. And then if, once a month I do 50% water changes, among other things, and that means I'll put half a teaspoon of this in. And I also use this. This is actually what I use when I had my first Bettas, when I really didn't know how to take care of Bettas. I'll do a whole nother video on the mistakes I made with Betta care. Newsflash, I actually used to put my Betta in one of those terrible bowls. I used to put my Betta in one of these bowls without a heater filter, among other things, but that'll be another video. So yes, I also use these. It's 1 tablet for 10 gallons, so yeah, I do 1/4 of the tablet for, I put 1/4 of the tablet in for when I do 25% water changes, half that tablet in when I do 50% water changes. And sorry, I have this terrible cough, but yeah, I think, basically what you need to put in the water. Water conditioner, definitely, this is optional. Yeah. And for water changes, I do 25% once a week and 50% once a month. You can do that if you want, but you don't have to do so much. You could do 10 to 25%. It doesn't have to be that much, but yeah. Thing for your Betta tank is gravel. Now you need 1 pound of gravel per gallon of tank. I have a 10-gallon tank, so I have 10 pounds of gravel. This is a 5-pound bag, and this is another 5-pound bag. So if you have a 10-gallon tank, you'll get 2 5-pound bags. If you have a 5-pound tank, you'll get 1 5-pound bag, and so on. These are just extra gravels I have. Or my old one gets too dirty to use. Another thing, once a month, you need to clean your gravel with a gravel cleaner, like so. Let me just show you what it says on the directions. Okay, you probably can't read those, you probably don't care, but yeah, it's just this thing that I clean the gravel with once a month, because the poop gets stuck in the gravel, and you wouldn't want to swim in your poop, so why would you let your Betta swim in its poop? So yeah, once a month you clean your gravel. And there actually are different substrates besides gravel. There's also shells, marbles, and sand. I do not recommend sand for small tanks, meaning like less than 10 gallons, because it just makes the water really murky. And I just don't have any experience with other substrates besides gravel. Gravel works best for me. Gravel is the easiest. But yeah, you could also use sand, shells, or marbles. Just look up how to do sand, because I don't have experience with that. So yeah. Okay, now for your decor, there's fake and live. I don't have any experience with live plants, but if you do decide to use live plants in your aquarium, that's fine. You just need to have a really good light, because the plants obviously need light. And you'll also need to dose your tank with things like CO2, carbon, and whatnot. And fake plants are overall just easier, because live plants will also make more algae in your tank, which you just end up having to clean up. And for the houses, it's really whatever suits your preference. You can buy whatever suits your preference. There are really big houses, there are really small houses. Just make sure that if your aquarium is like this big, don't get houses that are like this big. Get like, plants and houses that like fit the setting. Like just any house with a hidey hole like this. Like see, he goes in there, he has holes, like they really, like my fish, Flame, he really loves ones like this with lots of holes, but you can get whichever one, whichever kind you want. Now, what you don't want to use for plants is plants that have really sharp edges that will like hurt their fins, because their fins are actually really delicate. And let me just show you some of the ones you should not use. So ones like this. See my finger? See? I'm doing this, and it feels sharp against my finger. So a good rule is if it feels sharp against your finger, don't put it in your tank, because your brightest fins are very delicate. Another one you should not use, this one's like this, because he swims around and his fins get hurt. I actually have this entire bag of ones I'm no longer using, because I figured out that maybe I shouldn't use ones that hurt my brightest fins, because I just recently did research on Bettas, and yeah, that's first better that's actually taken care of. So the ones that you can use for plastic plants are ones like these. See, they're rounded-ish on the edges, and doesn't really hurt my finger when I put it through. Now, you do not use sharp plastic plants that have the sharp edges. You can use rounded plastic plants, and you can also use plants of a different material, like this really soft material. It's a silk. And yes, I have two of these. One's in my tank right now because I absolutely love putting them in there. These are my favorite plants because they're really soft. Yeah, you could get the silk plants or the not so sharp plastic plants, but do not get these plastic plants that will hurt your brightest fins because they are fragile. And I do clean my decorations with a toothbrush and then dry them before putting them in my tank. That's just to get off any bad stuff that might be on there. And after I take them out, I do scrub them with a toothbrush because slime builds up and you don't want slime on your things and getting your Betta sick. So yes, for decorations you can do whatever you want, just don't use really sharp plants. So this part is actually pretty straightforward. For the lid/lighting, you do need a lid, or else your Betta could potentially jump out of its tank, and you do not want that to happen, so make sure you get a lid. For lighting, you really don't need a good light unless you have live plants. In that case, you do need a good light. But lighting really does just light up the tank. I mean, obviously, lighting makes the tank look really good. And I'm just going to show you my lighting, and yeah. This is what my tank looks like lit up. Let me just get the lid off. This is my lighting. Yeah, it's pretty bright. This lighting actually costs like $50, so yes, you can see it does actually make the tank look really good, but as long as your Betta gets at least 8 hours of light per day, they are good. And yes, you can see I have that plant in there, and this is my tank right now, so it doubles as a tank tour. Now, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're not really thinking about tank mates yet. You're just like, oh, what do I need for one Betta? But in case you are, I would recommend doing tank mates with a Betta in tanks less than 10 gallons because Bettas need their own space. As I said before, they are aggressive, so they do need, you know, their own space. But some techniques that you could include, if you are thinking about doing it already, are ember tetras, clown plecas, guppies, freshwater snails, like apple snails. I'm actually thinking about getting an apple snail with my Betta, but who knows. And ghost shrimp and etc. Make sure that if you do take mates, don't let them have too bright colors or big tails, because Bettas will attack them and feel threatened, and you don't want your fish attacking each other. So if you do get tank mates for your Betta, make sure that they're not like brightly colored or really big and stuff like that. And do not put two males together. You probably already know this, but just do not put two males together because they will fight and die. And you can actually do a thing called a sorority, and that's where you put like several females together and they can like coexist. Just make sure that if you're thinking about doing a sorority, again, don't do that in tanks less than 10 gallons. And what was I gonna say? Don't do it in tanks less than 10 gallons. And make sure that the females aren't too aggressive. You can do that by, like, at the pet store, hold their cups next to each other. And if they, like, flare up at each other, then don't get those two. Get ones that aren't aggressive. But I don't know if I'll do a sorority, like, ever. But you could do a sorority if you want. I think it'd be cool to have, like, several Bettas in the same tank. But, again, make sure the tank is big enough. And also don't put females and males together unless you're a breeder, which I'm pretty sure you're not, and you don't want little Betta babies, so just do one male or a sorority. That's literally it. Or, you know, a male with tank mates and stuff like that. And yeah, that's it for tank mates and sororities. Now, feeding is probably the easiest thing ever. All I do is twice a day I feed my Betta 2 pellets. These pellets, they look like. They're just pellets. Yeah, I feed him 2 in the morning or whenever I wake up, and 2 either when I come home from school or just around 3 or 4. And make sure to not overfeed your Betta, because this will, 1, clog the tank, 2, they won't live as long, and 3, it's just more mess for you to clean up, because, you know, when you're suctioning out the gravel and stuff, there's just going to be more poop there, and it's not going to be good for anyone. So, like, on here, it says... Okay, you probably can't see. On here, it says to feed 3 to 4 pellets twice a day. That is wrong. Don't feed your Betta 8 pellets. Feed your Betta 4 pellets a day, and I wouldn't recommend it anymore. They can actually go every other day if you want to feed them every other day. But yeah, I feed mine 4 a day, and that works. And that's all you have to do to feed a Betta. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because I will be doing more fish videos, including one where I think I might talk about the mistakes I made when I first cut Bettas, because I made a lot of them. If you want to see that, please comment down below. And I really do hope you have a wonderful day, and see you later. Bye!